through these things. We are going to, oh shoot, I was trying to get that out of the way and it took me out of the file. Okay, so we're going to talk about adding or editing information on your tree, which is something you'll definitely need to know how to do. If you would like to add information to the people that are in your tree, you can do it a couple different ways. You could either go to their person page and click on edit to edit a death date or place, or so click where it shows add, because maybe you have nothing there. So either you have something and you want to change it, you would click edit. When you click edit or add, this screen, this little screen that you see on the bottom right will pop up. And that is where you'll go in and you will change any of the information that you're needing to change. When you do that, make sure that you enter standardized versions of the date and the place. And just so you know, when you add a date, the format is the day and then the month spelled out and then the year. That's the way that Family Search will be able to recognize the date that you have entered and be able to connect you to other records. And so what will happen is you'll put in that date and then a little drop down screen will pop up and it'll say, you know, is this the standardized one you want to choose? And you click that to make sure. It will do the same thing for the place as well, which is really, really important. So don't just put in, you know, a city and a state as you know it and click save, but instead find from their menu that they give you, try to find the most closely related standardized place names so that, again, it's more easily recognizable. And then enter the reason why you're doing or changing the information or adding the information, and then click at the bottom where it says save. Otherwise, it won't be saved. You can also edit relationships by, if you look on a person page and you can see in that little red box there that I've got an arrow, there's like a little box with a pencil in it. If you click on that, that is how you edit. And you can go in and you can change information about the marriage or change information about the parent-child relationship. Make sure that you will click on the preferred spouse, because sometimes you will see multiple spouses and you want to make sure that the one that you are seeing and working on is the actual member of your family. And so you'll click on that spouse. After you click on that little edit, this screen will pop up and it will show you all the information. So if you were editing the couple, this couple relationship information will show up. And then you either add an event like a marriage or a divorce, or you can edit any information. You can also make sure that everything is standardized and add your reason for changing it and click save. You can also remove or replace a person in a relationship. If you find out that you actually have the wrong person attached to your relative, you can edit the relationship. And if you see in that blue box, it says remove or replace, you can click on that. And then you'll have to scroll down and say, I have reviewed, to make sure that you really do want to remove that person, because they will no longer be the spouse and they will no longer be the father or mother of the children that are listed. Did anybody have a question on that? Okay, I thought I heard someone. And then go ahead and down at the bottom, click remove or replace that person. You can then, if you remove a person or replace a person, you could add in a new person by either, if you know that the correct ID number of the person that you're looking for, if you have that information, you can add it by ID number, or you can just start entering in the information, the first and last name and the sex of the person, whether they're alive or not, and any dates that you know, and then you can click next and add them. What will happen is when you do that, when you enter in that information, it will give you it might give you a couple of options. If that person already exists in the family tree, then it will say, here are some possible matches for the person that you entered. And you can look at that person and determine, oh, is that the right person? Is this the right couple? And if you can't for sure say that that is the right person, if there's not enough information for you to decide, then you can just create the person. As you see there on the left, just go ahead and click create. I want to create this William because I'm not positive that that other one is the right one. And because you can find out later and you can always merge them, which we'll talk about.
I have a question.
Sure.
Okay, on my family tree, it was like my father, and he, after marrying my mother, he married, well, they say they were common law. I heard they were common, the next two were common law.
Okay.
But when I pulled up information, his last person he was with said they were married, but I don't have enough information on her, I guess, to find out if there's a certificate. So how do you handle if you're not sure if they were married and you don't have no verification of them being married, just word of mouth?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you can't enter a marriage date if you don't have a record to verify that.
Okay.
Sometimes you'll have people together, but then there will be no record of a marriage there. And I think that that's okay to have that in your tree, but then you need to continue to search for information to kind of validate the nature of the relationship. Under relationship type, I don't know, Carrie Ann, correct me if I'm wrong, there's not an option for that. So should they still enter them in just without a marriage date?
Yes, I would.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Yep.
Because you want that to see them together so that you can more easily find a future record maybe to verify that. So obviously don't enter in a date necessarily if you don't have any kind of record to verify that, but put them together. Does that answer your question?
That's a good question because I've always wondered.
Okay.
One thing,
Yes.
Okay.
one thing that I did notice is you can put, as far as an event, you can put marriage, annulment, common law, divorce, lived together. So there are
okay.
different kinds of relationships that you can add if you are not sure, or if you
great.
are sure that they just live together, things like that.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. You can also edit parent-child relationships in the same way. So you just go next to name and click that little box with the pencil in it again. And this gives you an opportunity to select if the parent is biological, if they are a step parent, if they're just a temporary guardian, foster parent. It gives you those options and you can do that, which is pretty important to know. You can also remove or replace a person. If you say, you know what, this is not the correct father, you can remove them and they can remain attached to the other parent, but remove them. Okay, so this is such an important thing. This is probably one of the most important benefits of using Family Search, and that is record hints. If you look on your family tree and you see this little blue square, it looks like almost like a little newspaper icon. This is called a record hint, and it's a digitized record that has been made available, made searchable because of records that have been indexed. So people have found these records, they have taken a picture of them, then people have looked at those pictures and input that into Family Search so that you can find the record. And so if you click on those record hints, they'll be over on the right side of a person page. What it will do is it will pull up information that's in that record, and you can just kind of look at it, do a quick scan over and say, does that look like it's my relative? And if it does, then you click review and attach. If you know for sure that's not the right person, that's definitely not my relative, you can click not a match. If you're not sure, don't do anything, because you don't want to just because if you say not a match, then they won't show you that record hint again. They'll assume you've already decided it's not. So go ahead and let me get rid of that. Click review and attach, and then what will happen, my computer's just decided to pause again or not advance through. That's really weird. What will happen is, I can't show you because this is not, for some reason, willing to advance, but that's crazy. You will have on the left side of your screen, the information that's in the record, and on the right side of the screen, the information that you have about your relative. And you can compare those two, and in the process, you determine if they are the right match. If it is a match, you can click add to bring over any information that is in that record that you don't have. And then you need to make sure you add that, and then you give a reason why you're attaching the record, and you click attach.
Chelsea,
So-
why don't you quit sharing and then share again?
Okay.
That'll probably work. While she does that, let me stress the part about not a match. When you click not a match, that is telling the computer system anything that is like this is not correct. So you have to be absolutely positive that it is not a match, because otherwise you're making the computer work against you. So just thought I would mention that. Does that work now, Chelsea?
No, it didn't. It's honestly never happened before. That's why it's about reviewing them. Okay, so you review them side by side, and you can click compare. And I would also want to stress that when you're looking at the record and deciding if it's your relative, go ahead, if it has an image, and click on that image to view, because there is always going to be, almost always, there will be information that has not been indexed, that is not on the record that you see. But when you go look at the image of the record, there's always important information on there. I find that, especially when it comes to a census, I'll always find like their job, or maybe what grade they went to in school, how long they've been married. There's always just helpful information on census records that hasn't been indexed. Go ahead and pull over the information that is on them and click attach. If you notice a record, if you have a record that has a person that you don't have on your tree, like a spouse or a child, you want to add that person. And so you can click add, and a screen will pop up either with a possible match of a person that's already in Family Tree, and you can say whether or not they're a match, or if there is no possible match, they'll give you this option of creating a new person, like you see down at the bottom. And you're going to want to do that because that's the whole reason that you're looking for records, is you want to find more people and you want to find more information that helps you. After you create that person, attach the record to them. Sometimes people forget that step. They create the person, but then they forget to go back and attach the record to that person. Okay, so if you want to look at the sources that are attached to people in your tree, and you want to see what information do I have about this person, where have I found all of this information, you can go click on the sources tab on their person page, and then when you go over, you choose a source and you click on it, and it will open a window showing you all of the information that's available on that source. You can also click on review attachments in that little window, and it will show you who that is attached to. Sometimes what will happen, so when you do that, it's important that you review those attachments, because what will happen is when you do that, whoever it's attached to will show up in this green, be colored green. And the people that it's not attached to will not be colored in green. And you'll want to see that, because in this example that you see here, it's attached to your relatives, George and Mary, but it also, that record has Mary's parents on it. And you don't have them in the tree yet. And so, or you don't have this record attached to them. You do have them in the tree, but you don't have the record attached, and you want to go ahead and attach that. So you'll click compare and attach. It also may have children that you didn't know that they had, because on this you can see that no children were listed. And in the record, there are our children. So you want to go ahead and add those children to the tree. What if there are no record hints and you would like record hints? We're almost done here. So I'm just going to quickly go over. You could, if you don't see any record hints, you could click on under search records, click family search, and then family search will pull over the information from the person page that you were on. It will automatically put in their name and their birth date and place, and they will search through billions of records that have been indexed to find possible records of your relative. And then you can go and look through those and see if they are the right person, and then go through the same process and attach them. So that's just an important way to find more records, and the people that are assigned to be your helpers can walk you through that if you're not sure how to do that. And they can also show you how to attach sources from websites. Also, you can attach a source from your memory box. If you have put pictures up, or you have a photo that you have taken or scanned in of a birth record or some record that Family Search may not have it, but you have put it into the memory section, you can attach it from your memories, from your memory box to that person as well on their person page. And they can walk you through that, because I don't want to take time doing that, right? Carrie Ann, is it more important that we go through this, or that we go ahead and end the class so they can have their time?
Probably just ask any questions, and then,
Yeah.
yes, see if,
Questions on looking for or attaching sources?
any questions on this presentation. If anyone has a quick question that everyone might benefit from.
Okay. If not, then
More sources?
what about duplicate source, merging duplicate records? This might be, let's just go over this for like 1 minute before you guys separate out. You will certainly find duplicate records in Family Search, and that's because everybody can go in and create their family, and what Family Search does is has a different separate ID for every person created. And so you're going to find other people that have created this same person. And so you will have duplicate records or duplicate people. And so it's really important that you don't take that lightly, that you don't just say, oh, I think that's the same person, and there's enough information. But you do need to compare the people. And sometimes Family Search will say, hey, there's a possible duplicate here. Over on the right side, as you scroll down under tools, it'll say, hey, there's a possible duplicate record of this person. And you can click on that, and it will show them to you. You click review merge, and they will show them side by side. And your relative, the one that you have in your tree, is on the right side, and the one that Family Search thinks might be a duplicate is on the left side. You start to compare the information. As you scroll down, you see what matches. And if you find enough information that matches, you can merge them. What you'll want to do is remember that whoever is on the right side will be the person that remains after the merge happens, because one of these people is going to disappear. So whoever has the most information is the one that you want to keep on the right side. And so if you only have just the main things, and you are sure it's the same person, but the person that already existed on Family Tree has tons of sources and tons of information, and then that's the person that you're going to want to keep, and you're going to want to merge yours into theirs. You will be able to add any information from that person over to the new person, and or from the other person to your person, and the sources will come along with them, and you'll be able to click yes, continue if you believe that they're a match, and bring over any information, and make note of any like names. If the name is slightly different, go ahead and make note of that, so you can go in and add that to their page later and say, hey, here's another name that he went by. He was Martin in most cases, but sometimes it was Martine, and spelled that way. You want that information, because again,
Oh,
it
that's a
will
good idea.
flag other information for you. And then you click continue, and you finish the merge. And then when you do that, you need to make sure that you have a reason why you're merging them together.
Right.
There are
I've
some
I've done this a couple times.
automatic reasons that you can do there. Like most information is the same, or you can type in a reason that you decided to merge them and then you click finish merge. Okay, so I think we'll stop there and go ahead and let you guys go to your